Greetings, this is the Timeshare Traveler. Today is episode 150, I can't believe it. 150 episodes. So it seemed appropriate to have kind of a looking back and looking forward kind of event overview. So which timeshare companies are adding the most new things? And we're at 150 on my episodes. Let's see who's doing the most for the future. I'm going to talk about the overview. In my view, is new features are a measure of competitiveness. Which companies are fighting hardest for your business? Then I'll go through the Hilton updates that are currently in process, the Marriott updates that are currently in process. That includes Westin and Sheraton as well. And then Club Wyndham Worldmark updates in process. And then of course, I have some conclusions. Before I do that, though, I'll tell you a little bit about my channel, Hang and Mill. I'll be right back to tell you all about it. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and Worldmark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter, Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com. Well, I'm back to tell you about new features are a measure of competitiveness. I actually appreciate companies that innovate and create additional value. Some people like a more stable situation, but I appreciate everyone, those companies that try to add that. In my personal case, I feel greater loyalty to companies that are working hard to win my business and by providing more features, more capabilities. So I feel a sense of loyalty, and in return, I tend to invest in the areas where there's the greatest future benefits. The other thing is timeshare companies that improve make me feel good about my investment. And what I mean by that is, there's always other changes. Airbnb comes up, hotels are changing, a lot of things are happening. But those that are improving make me say that I didn't just buy for just now. I bought because I believed in the brand and I believe they were going to grow and stay with the competition. And that improvement makes me feel good about that. The last point is the travel industry is competitive, and innovation means you're winning. And I see that over and over. The companies that innovate gain more business. So anyway, let me now drop into each one of the top 3 timeshare companies in my opinion. Well, let's start first with Hilton. So they just recently, last year I guess, bought Diamond. And they're creating this HGV Max, which is certainly a marketing term, but really they have a major integration of a lot of properties into the new system, and they've taken a very aggressive approach to make those available as soon as possible. I get communication, I get emails about once a quarter, and I really appreciate the fact that they're keeping us abreast of what is happening. The website's getting updated, and it's not so much the technology piece, but I'm starting to see different features, capabilities. I already have the Lyft credit, and on the Diamond side, I have an automated search, and I've actually been using it. So I can see the pieces that they're going to start to come together. I see greater integration of properties. I see a lot more inventory. I've actually stayed in quite a few of the former Diamond properties using my Hilton, so it's really working out. I feel really blessed to be able to go to a lot more sites and have a lot more choices. So again, greater resort units available. I'm seeing more and more of that on both sides. And they've added features like they're starting to do some event planning where you can use your points to do that. Other timeshare companies have done it, but again, it's about innovation. They didn't have that before. Diamond had it, and so they've kind of kept things that they felt would make them more competitive. So it's really, to me, it's been really, 2 ways to look at it. It was a lot to take on when they did the merger, but they've done their best to try to take what works best and bring them across the board. And then they have another thing on the Diamond side called Destination Exchange, which is really an Airbnb-like event. It's kind of I would call it an infant stage. It's not very well developed yet, but the fact that it's on the process of happening makes me really excited that there's a great future on the timeshare side with regards to Hilton Grand Vacations. Okay, let's talk about Marriott now. So they're pretty much, they've got their system integration really at the end of last year, and this is kind of the first year to see how the integration works, to see how Westin owners like the Marriott, see how the Sheraton owners like Marriott, and I already had access to Westin. See who stays in the current program or merges into the Abound system. So they've got a lot of lessons learned to figure out what their customers really like. Um, Again, the merger happened 5 years ago, but they're finally put it together. It's a little longer than I wished, but hey, so probably it's probably true about everything in my life. I wish it would happen sooner, except death, of course. But anyway, and then they've done upgrades as part of the Bound or setup. And again, I think they're totally focused on getting the merged properties fully integrated. When I go to the sales presentations, they're talking about all the different properties, how you have one place to get access to them all. So that's been working out really good. So let me now talk about the last Wyndham WorldMark. As a WorldMark owner, and I accessed a lot of the Club Wyndham, I'm pretty happy with my WorldMark and the things they're doing. They're adding a new tier, which then makes it consistent. They have all the same tiers on the Wyndham and WorldMark side, but it's really great because that gives a much better sense of it. They've updated the website, at least on the WorldMark side, and I think also on the Wyndham side, and that's been really helpful because that gives me greater visibility. I can actually see the inventory availability on the Wyndham side. Before, it was very difficult to book. You had to call and see what was available and then check with your friends to see if they want to, then call back. Now it's kind of at the, you can see the inventory, you just call and they have to do the booking. But in about a week, maybe 2 weeks, you'll be able to book everything online, and it's not only book it online, but the club pass price, which is what they call going from the Wyndham side to the WorldMark side or the WorldMark side to the Wyndham side. That's going to be online. It's going to be $49 to book instead of $99. So that way you get to effectively go across the brands. They have had a merger of the Travel Club, Travel and Leisure, which been a big thing, and it's helped as far as broad travel capabilities. But my favorite one it's been so great is the Vacasa, which allows you to take Wyndham Rewards points, which you get by taking the presentations, and use that to book. So I've stayed a free stay for a week on Kauai, and I've stayed a week in the Napa area in California, all using this. And it's just sort of like an Airbnb. I've really enjoyed it. So anyway, Wyndham's and WorldMark heavily invested in improving their capability. Okay, let's talk about conclusions. And I sort of ranked what I think are the most innovative in order of most innovation. And the first one is Hilton Grand Vacations. And primarily, I guess they got lucky in the sense that they just did a merger, and so that's forcing a lot of innovation. But they've also taken the approach of giving customers as much as they can, as soon as they can, rather than waiting for it to be perfect. They're not waiting till the upgrades are all done. They're merging the pieces while they're doing the upgrades to the hotels to bring them up to Hilton standards. So I appreciate them moving quickly and giving me more capabilities. It's growth because of the acquisition, but they've upgraded the properties. They're adding new features. I see at least the next 3 years of continuous new features, new places. I'm, quite happy with that. And they have the beginnings of an Airbnb competition. So I think they're doing everything they can to really grow the business. So they're kind of my top rank as far as which one's adding the most things. My second one is Wyndham WorldMark. Again, booking across brands has been a big thing for them. The Marriott has also solved as well, but again, that's just one of the features. The new tier to have everything to be the same across the board, and then the Airbnb with Vacasa is to me a killer. That again, they're really innovating. They've also got their travel and leisure capabilities, so they have full travel well beyond just the hotels and timeshares. So they really are trying to be a travel destination, and I'm really happy with their growth and everything. Marriott is finally got their integration done, and I think they're spending this year doing what they should be doing. Not a lot of innovation per se, but they're getting everyone used to the new program and making sure they have a good handle on where things are. So there you have it. That's kind of my conclusions. Happy 150th video. It actually should tip. It's more than 150th. I've probably done 300 plus with all the room reviews. Anyway, I hope you like it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Happy traveling.